of Delaware. Senator, thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Wolf.
So WikiLeaks today released more of John Podesta's emails. He's the Clinton campaign chair, including some emails going back to when then candidate Barack Obama was running for office.
This latest batch of WikiLeaks releases, I hope, will be viewed with a very wary eye because of their timing and their origin. It is difficult and embarrassing to have this foreign source, likely affiliated with Russia, likely being released in order to try and influence our elections, steadily leaking out day after day, week after week. My hope is that your watchers and the American electorate will instead focus on the things said in last night's debate between our two presidential candidates. As your opening coverage suggested, Republicans and Democrats alike have been alarmed by what Donald Trump said last night, that he wouldn't accept the outcome of the election, and that he doubled down on today by saying he would only accept it if he won. There are some concerns, of course, about WikiLeaks and what's been said, but I think a more pressing concern is the stark difference between the two candidates for president. Last night, Secretary Clinton showed that she is calm, prepared. She offered an optimistic view of the United States and concrete solutions for our future, in sharp contrast to the rambling, incoherent, and dark view presented by Donald Trump in what was the third and, in some ways, I think, most important debate.
What's really someone told him to change his password. He went ahead and did, and that was it. And all of those thousands and thousands of emails were hacked, including now today we get some of then Senator, but then candidate Barack Obama's emails as well. You say likely Russia. Do you believe it was Russia, and was it coordinated at the highest levels of the Russian government, meaning Putin?
Well, Wolf, that's what we've been told by a number of the senior leaders in the American intelligence community that the public has been referred to in classified as well. A number of public reports by senior leaders of how these hacks occurred points directly to Russian influenced or Russian-directed activities. And I frankly think that we ought to have a bipartisan commitment to refusing to privilege these WikiLeaks. I was impressed that Senator Rubio took the step of saying that because of their origin, we shouldn't be discussing them in our debates, and we shouldn't be allowing Russia this dangerous opportunity to influence the outcome of our presidential election.
And do you believe the Russians are trying to influence the election in order to get Trump elected?
I do. I led a bipartisan delegation to Eastern Europe this summer. We visited the Czech Republic, Ukraine, and Estonia. And in all three countries, we were briefed both by American and foreign leaders, and of course got briefings from our own defense, intelligence, and diplomatic leadership that laid out in detail ways that Russia has been covertly and overtly influencing elections and political activities in Western and Central and Eastern Europe in recent years. I think if more Americans realize just how explicitly Russia is now using propaganda, overt and covert means such as elections, and I believe the reports that we've heard that this is an intentional effort to affect the outcome of the American election.
So what should the U.S. do in retaliation?
Well, I won't get into specifics about what kind of steps we should take. We have a broad and well-developed cyber arsenal. I do think it's important for us to strike back and to do so in a way that will be noticed by exactly the individuals who've authorized and seek to benefit from these attacks. This is a very troubling series of developments recently, Wolf, both having Donald Trump refusing to accept the outcome of an election, Donald Trump in the second debate threatening to jail his opponent, and now one of our most significant strategic opponents in the world, Russia, literally trying to directly influence the outcome of an American election. I hope your viewers and the American electorate, I hope we're all paying attention to these important developments.
Are you concerned that WikiLeaks may reveal more damaging information against Democrats, against Hillary Clinton before the election on November 8th?
I'm concerned that there will be more leaks of unreliable, untrustworthy information, that because they will be released within days of an election and will be timed exactly to significantly influence that election, that we won't have the time to verify them or to digest them or respond to them appropriately. So yes, I am quite concerned about that. If you see this steady drumbeat, this crescendo of released emails that haven't been authenticated, I think that is a legitimate concern.
Have you seen any evidence that any of them released so far have been doctored?
I haven't directly, but I'll also remind you, since we're not in session, most members of the Senate are not currently getting classified briefings on further developments in this field. I'm not the my hunch is that there's been being my concern, frankly, Wolf, is that the American people will be turned off by the nastiness, the bitterness of the national campaign, and that will have both a depressing effect in terms of turnout, and it will have an impact on who comes out to vote in federal and local elections for offices other than president. There's been a lot thrown back and forth, not just in the debates, but in the campaign. In Delaware here, we're hearing a barrage of campaign ads from the Pennsylvania campaigns, as well as the national campaign. And I hear from a lot of my constituents here in Delaware that the election can't come soon enough. It's my hope that folks will pay attention, engage, and vote with a sense of courage and optimism about American democracy, about the institutions we've worked so hard to build, and that they won't reward fear-mongering or last-minute attacks.
Michelle Obama, she's campaigning right now in Arizona. She's campaigning for Hillary Clinton. Do you think that Clinton can win a state like Arizona, maybe even Utah? These are traditionally Republican states in presidential contests. The polls show it's very close between her and Trump in those states.
I do. If you listen to my Republican colleagues from those states, a number of them have early on said that they distanced themselves. They disavowed Donald Trump's positions, the Muslim ban, his sharp disrespect for Senator McCain's war record, and then some of his more recent appalling statements about sexual harassment and abuse of women. I just want to say I commend a number of my Republican Senate colleagues for also saying that they think that Donald Trump's statements in the debate last night, that he wouldn't respect the outcome of the election, are admirable. Senator Graham, Senator Flake, Senator Sass. Senator Flake is from Arizona. And I think a number of the statements that have been made by Republican Party and elected officials in Arizona and Utah suggest that this is a season when it's possible for either Secretary Clinton or another candidate to be successful in Utah or Arizona.
I want you to stand by, Senator Coons.